table. Today it's my pleasure to have the head coaches press conference. The visiting team this year is Oregon, interim head coach Bryan McClendon, and then Oklahoma will be the home team, and Bob Stoops. Coach McClendon, can you start off, please?
Absolutely. Really, I want to start off by thanking the Alamo Bowl again. This just has been a wonderful experience for our guys, wonderful experience for the families, and I said this before, as long as those two are the case, then that makes it easy for the coaches, to be honest with you, dealing with the families and the players. And it's just, it's allowed us, especially through this time of kind of turmoil a little bit, just kind of on both ends to be able to focus on something, and that's been really really good for the guys over there. So really appreciative of that. Really appreciative of Coach. Coach has been awesome. He really has, man. He's been awesome and being and helping in any kind of way that he can. And like I said, I just just really want to cherish the experience. So I mean, our guys, we've kind of finished up the last little day of preparation as far as on the field stuff today, and that's actually what I'm sprinting over here from. But again, man, just I couldn't be more excited for the group of men that's going out there. So gives us a great challenge. Obviously, playing against an extremely good opponent with that's as talented out there as anybody, and we got our hands, we got our work cut out. So, but again, just really thankful for this opportunity.
Thank you, Coach Stoops.
I would start again by, much like Coach McClendon just said, compliments to the Valero Alamo Bowl people. Everybody involved with this bowl game and organization have been fantastic in accommodating players, their families, all of us, practice sites. Everything has really been run in a really positive way. My compliments to Bryan and his staff and the Oregon football team. I was on hand to watch them beat Ohio State, and I mean they flat out beat them in the horseshoe. So a really strong, good football team. But my compliments to all these assistant coaches too, on Oregon staff and on the OU staff, that are taking different jobs and still are committed the last couple weeks of investing in these players, investing in these programs to help them finish the right way. They don't have to do it. And in today's world, there's a lot of pressure not to do it with recruiting and whatnot, but these guys have all held true. And, I think we counted up the other day, Bryan, in our room, we had our staffs were together for a dinner. Of all the assistant coaches, when they leave here, are going to 7 or 8 different schools.
That's right.
All right, they'll be with 7 or 8 different programs next year. So, again, my compliments to those guys. We could not have done it without them and without the guys that remained and helped us. So we appreciate them. And anyway, we're proud to represent the University of Oklahoma here in the Valero Alamo Bowl, and looking forward to the stiff competition here with Oregon.
If you have questions, I'll wait front in the blue, Michelle, and then white left, and then back. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Bob, you've coached a lot of talented young quarterbacks during your career. What attributes do you consider most important for a young quarterback? And in the limited time you've had with Caleb, have you seen some of those attributes?
Sure. As much as anything, great competitiveness and toughness mixed with the poise. He can't run around like a linebacker, but he can have the same kind of fire as a linebacker, and toughness, a guy that players want to work with and work for, and a leader, and a worker. And Caleb's all of those things. The players love him. He's practiced every day with energy, always ready to go, always got a bright, happy demeanor about him. So he's got the characteristics and the talent, and I just hopeful as time, as he continues to progress, he'll continue to evolve as one of those great quarterbacks.
William, front, white, shirt.
For both coaches, please. Both teams fell short of their preseason goals, lost a couple of games. Both teams underwent a little bit of upheaval in the coaching business, obviously. I just wonder what's been the goal, the message the past few days to the players about this game, and then what's the message going into tomorrow night?
Okay. You know, one of the biggest messages that has been echoed throughout this time is, you know, this part of the year is about finishing. You know, this part of the year is about finishing, and you have a clear opportunity to be able to finish something that you start. You know, goals are great. They're definitely great motivation. They're definitely a great tool to use to be able to kind of fuel different things within your program. And it does hurt at times when you don't get them, but you still have so much to play for. And when, you know, when the bowl schedule comes out and you see that you're playing the University of Oklahoma, it's not much time to sit up there and be feeling sorry for yourself. And so that has helped tremendously also, just with the competition that we're playing, the team that we're playing against, the storied history of the program. I mean, it makes sure it grabs your attention from the word go. So, I mean, just, you know, and as far as the coaching part of it, I mean, that's just where college football has gotten. You know, it really has. I know me and Coach actually had a good conversation about it, and won't get all into it, but this is just where college football is right now. And so at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that you're a great example. I was having this conversation with my 9-year-old daughter about why it's important to finish what you start. You know, and not do it half-heartedly. You want to go in there and you want to do it to the best of your ability, and make sure everybody around you is doing it to the best of their ability. And you owe it to each other, the men that you work with, and the guys that's playing for you, and everybody in the program. So, you know, this. And Coach said this, and I'm stealing it from him, but when I got asked to do it, it was the only right thing to do. It really was. And so I jumped at the opportunity to be able to do that for the players, to be honest with you, for the players that we owe everything to kind of keep pouring this thing into.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Stoops?
And yeah, our message has been similar. Just represent each other the right way. You're playing for that logo, that helmet, that program. And there's a big history there, you know. So anytime we take the field, we want to represent it the right way by the way we play, the manner in which we play, the toughness, the energy, how hard we play. Those things don't change. And even though they've been through, just as Oregon has, a little bit of upheaval in the last few weeks, the bottom line is we're getting ready to play. And if we're going to play, we need to play the right way. And we're playing a great program in Oregon, and of course, that has our attention as well.
William, Black, second. Let's go Gray, then Black. That's fine.
Bryan, wanted to confirm just several of the defenders we haven't seen in practice the past couple of days. So Ajax, Shipley, LeDuc, Addison, Popo, Keanu Williams, that they're all unavailable, and that those are either injury or academic related, not COVID related?
All of those will be one of those related. Keanu Williams will be there. He's available. And Bryan Addison will be available. He's there. He'll be available. Of the other guys that you mentioned, in one way, shape, or form, they will be unavailable for tomorrow's game.
Second row Black, and then back in the Black, and then Jimmy in red.
Bob, in recent years, we've seen Bulls douse coach. Oh, sorry. We've seen Bulls douse coaches in mayonnaise, Cheez-Its, etc. I'm wondering what you would think about a tequila bath, specifically a rock and roll tequila bath.
That'd be okay. What's the administration going to do? Fire me? So I'll be sending Bryan some when the game's over. Some rock and roll tequila. That's funny.
Question in the back, Black.
You know, Bob, I'm curious about how practice has gone overall, because I think you came in and stabilized things, and so did Brent. So once you got really back on the field, how much joy did you have? How much fun was it? And how did practice really go?
It's been great. The guys have really, the best part of it for me is you don't know coming in and being somewhat disconnected how they're going to accept you, and they've just been awesome. The players, I could not ask for more, and how they've been respectful and appreciative, and they've worked hard. So it's been smooth. The assistant coaches, again, have done an awesome job. They deserve the credit. They've done the heavy work. And the players have responded to them and have been great to me. So it's always, to me, was the best part of what we do is being on the field with the players and around the locker room, around the building. You get, you hang, I said it's what I miss the most is hanging around the game, every day. And now for a period of time, I've been able to, join back in with them. So it has been fun.
Question, Jenny, in front.
Hey, Bob, just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about with the new coaches. I mean, obviously, you've got some carryover on the staff of guys that are sticking around, but guys like Brent, Jeff, Roof, some of the new guys, will they be around tomorrow, or how has that been working with the team?
They haven't been at practice. They've been at practice watching, just observing. They have not influenced any meetings. They have not coached. They have done, and most of them, and Brent just got back yesterday and after practice. He'll be watching us today at practice. But they have not had a hand in the game plan. Just been observing to see the players are going to be working with. And they've been awesome. And I can't say it enough how excited I am that Brent Venables is going to be here and leading our program. The passion, the energy is going to infect everybody and in a positive way. And I really believe he got a chance to bring us to another level.
William, front red. Then back.
Yeah, for both of you, but this question, Bryan, for you, it seems the speculation has been all over the place with 31 players missing practice to hearing you now, there's like 4 players that for whatever reason aren't there. And then how do you account for the other 27 or 20 whatever? Are there 31 players that will miss this, and how many because
It won't
of
be.
COVID?
It won't be quite that much. I'll say this: they probably missed some time in one way, shape, or form because of coming back from some injuries and things of
Right.
that nature. I mean, like you're getting Bennett Williams back. You know what I mean? Who he was unavailable, but you're getting him back. So I mean, they've missed time in one way, shape, or form. But to act like we're going in there how we were in Ohio State, that would be false also. So I mean, but so we're having to dig into some depth at some different spots. But it's all, most of it is all bumps and bruises associated with play. So I mean, I think what we have to do is make sure that guys are able to kind of step up, and it's giving guys some opportunities to be able to do that. But it's not 31. I don't know exactly what the number is to be able to correct or rectify what's out there, and I didn't even know that until you said that. But it is not. We're not missing 31 guys right now from out of 85. I mean now, like I said, but we are down some guys, and depth could be an issue at some certain spots.
And Bob, from a missing player standpoint, you have the 4 good defensive players who are opting out for the NFL. What do you do defensively? Is there, have you patched things up? Do you feel good about where you are going into this game with what you have?
Absolutely. You're not going to play with 9, 10 guys. We're going to have 11 guys out there, and these young guys want an opportunity, and they're good players. So I've loved the energy, the way they've been playing on defense and practicing. I think Coach Odom's done an awesome job with those guys, and most of those guys are all up front, but we've got some depth up there. So these young guys that are going to get more snaps have to step up and play, but they're capable of playing well. So it'll be a challenge. I love their front, offense and defense. I mean, their front guys are darn good. I mean, you turn on the tape, and we said it. I watched it an hour with Coach Odom, and I loved the O-line. I mean, they play well. So, but again, these guys got to step up and play.
Back on the podium. Back.
Bryan, just can you speak on the 2 years you've been around Travis Dye and just his growth and what he means to this team at this point in just his career?
I mean, he's the spark plug. He's the spark plug. I mean, he's the guy that very easily rallies the troops, and it's because of what he does day in and day out. It's not just what he does over there on game days. Just leadership and all that other stuff is born between, all the stuff that has nothing to do with game day up until that point, and he exemplifies that. So great high character kid, really high care factor, which that drives a lot of how he operates just in his life. So really happy for him. He just got engaged over Christmas, and so like I said, man, just where you see him, not just as a football player, but what you see him as a person off the field, it definitely matches up. So a guy like that, man, is just always important to any football team, but definitely the one that we have right now.
On the back, William on the floor, black shirt.
You know, Bob, you got into it a little bit, but I wanted to know what you thought about Oregon and Coach McClendon. If you could talk about when you turn on Oklahoma's tape, what do you see in the Sooners?
Yeah, you know, first I just talked about their offensive front, the line. They lose C.J. Verdell. Travis Dye wasn't even the starter, I don't think, right? Or they rotate? They were rotating, but now you got to, you know, they lose C.J. Verdell, and the guy and Travis runs for 1,500 yards. So really, Anthony Brown can make some big plays, you know, in what he does. So. You know, and then defensively, the front is, you know, both inside guys are, you know, first team all Pac-12. You know, I love their linebacker, Sewell, number one, a great player. And then they got all these guys in the secondary. Hopefully some of them aren't playing. I don't mean for you, but McKinley, I mean, leads the country in interceptions. Great player. You can't beat it when you have a safety that can make plays like that. So they got guys at every level that are really good football players and have played well through the year.
Yeah, when you turn on first, you know, being an offensive coach, you always start, you know, defensively, and you just see their knack for creating negative plays and getting you behind the sticks. They fly around. I mean, you know, some of those guys that, like you said, are sitting out, and I'm not too upset about that, about those decisions, to be honest with you. Wish the quarterback made the same one, but but just, you know, those guys, they're physical. How they take on blocks, how they defeat blocks, how they cancel gaps. I mean, and they have cover guys out there on the back end, you know, and that allows you to be able to do some of those things. I mean, you know, so I mean, just schematically, that's the first thing that jumps out at you is just what they do to make you play behind the sticks. I feel like it really gives those guys an advantage going into any game that they play, and then the personnel that they're doing it with. And I kind of alluded to it. I feel like they have probably the best playmaker in the country at quarterback. You know, regardless of how old or young he is. I mean, the guy I think is a phenomenal player, and you see instantly what he does to everybody on the field. I mean, he truly makes you play the entire snap of football. So whether it's on rhythm, he can make the play. Whether it's off rhythm and he has to create some stuff, he can do that as well. And just schematically what they do, they make you defend the entire length of the field. I mean, the entire width of the field, I'm sorry. So, I mean, just what they do, man, it's a challenge on both sides schematically, and then they have the talent to be able to do it, and that's what makes these guys so scary to play. Not just what I'm saying, it's just, I mean, you see it week in and week out of what they've been able to do. They truly, I mean, they do a good job. So they have great coaches, they have a good scheme, and they got really good players to go out there and be able to do it with. So, like I said, I mean, it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
We have a question back, right?
Bryan, how limited do you anticipate Bennett being tomorrow, if at all? And then what does it just mean to have him back in any capacity at all?
Sure. You know, Bennett, man, he gives you that instant toughness. I mean, everybody likes to preach toughness, and I feel like that's what these two programs are built on. And so, but he is one of those genuine tough guys. He really is. So, I mean, just getting his energy back and everything else, man. I mean, it's been great just because he was playing so well, and then how he got injured, you know, on a, you know, basically on a Friday before a game. I mean, you just hate to see stuff. You hate to see guys get injured in general, but just you hate to see a guy get injured in that manner. So just being able to get him back has been a true uplifting for all the guys, not just defensively, but, you know, definitely going to help you on special teams, and definitely, I mean, those offensive guys, they feed off of that stuff as well. So, I mean, but it's been good in a lot of ways.
Front question, Michelle.
Hey, Bob, when you retired, you did it in the summer, and I know you're not one for sentimentality or any of that, but
Oh, sure I am.
you have changed a lot. I don't know you at all. But to have this sort of punctuation mark at the end is, you know, unexpected, I know, but to be out on the field and sort of have this moment after that happened, in a non-football time. Does it mean anything different to you to have that?
I don't know how to, when you take the field, you'll want to win, and no, that doesn't change. I don't know that, and I've enjoyed the time, all of that. Hopefully I, had a positive impact on the players. As far as, do I need something to punctuate what I've done? No, I don't. That's just not my style, and you guys that have all covered me, and ladies, know that isn't my style. I don't count wins. I don't count, like, I need this to finish my career. Not really, but am I going to do everything I can to win? Absolutely, and try and, give our players the best opportunity to win. But, I don't look at it as a big deal, as far as my career goes.
Question back down, blue.
Bob, Cale said yesterday he's never called plays before throughout his many years of being an assistant coach. How comforting is it to have someone who's been in the program that long in that role for you tomorrow night?
Absolutely. Cale has great experience, with all of our coordinators, and through the years, he's been the guy in the box with the eyes, suggesting plays, or the coordinator, I'm getting ready to call whatever, and how's it look? It looks good. Go with it. Those kind of things. So and even though he hasn't been the one that's been coming out of, he's been the one helping the guy directly that is calling the plays. So Cale's been with us forever. So so he'll do a good job. I'm confident of that.
Question in the back.
Bryan, there's been a lot of positions for this team that have had guys opt out or get hurt. The offensive line is one where it doesn't feel like there hasn't been much turmoil with that position. Can you just speak to the significance of that for your offense and having all those guys in the continuity? And then
Absolutely.
Would Ryan Walk be available too?
No, Ryan won't be. Well, he could be in a limited role. But all those guys, man, have played so much football, and the offensive line is a different group. You know what I mean? Those guys, they're the epitome of thriving on camaraderie, the epitome of always working together, having to communicate. That's where a lot of our leadership, quite frankly, comes from, not just offensively, but the team. So those guys thrive on being the example of how you should do things. And I just feel like, man, when you have not just a group of guys, but when you have that group of guys that's driving, that's basically the engine to this thing, that makes things as a coach a lot easier too. Because a lot of teammates, they might not like it, but I don't know if many of them want to try some of those big guys over there and telling them, no, I'm not going to do it I'm not going to do the way that you guys want it done. And those guys, man, they do a great job of leading, do a great job of being the example. Not just on the field, but off the field as well. So I'm really pleased for those guys, and like I said, that makes our job as coaches a lot easier as well.
Are there any final questions? Or back left?
Bryan, with Troy and Dante in particular, can you speak to the development that they had this season, and from those two, since they played more than Isaiah, but if you can comment on him as well, just what do they each individually have to do to further develop next season as coming off true freshman years for next year?
Well, and I kind of alluded to this before. Both of those guys are extremely talented guys. As being their position coach, you felt really great about being able to get those guys in. The thing that I can attest to as far as these guys go, and this is not just them, but a lot of kids, man, that's in this position. This was their first time playing football since being high school juniors because of COVID and their seasons and everything else getting canceled as well. So to be able to go basically from playing as a high school junior, they're playing as a college freshman, that should tell you right now on how talented these guys can be. So I mean, just and as talented as they are, they're made of the right stuff too. They're smart, they work hard, very conscientious, and they want to be great players. So as long as they do that, I feel like all of their dreams and goals and aspirations are obtainable. And right now that's been the case. So been really pleased with those guys throughout this bowl practice, and bowl practice, you get a chance to be able to get those extra practices in and keep developing guys. And so they've been able to do that. So I've been really proud of the work that those guys been able to put in and shoot it. But, you know, it's always a work in progress. So to answer your question, it's going to take a good off season and everything else and keep developing as far as all that stuff goes.
Coaches, to conclude the press conference, could you stand up and get the picture of you guys together? Thank you so much.